Jeff is in Washington with more. Jeff, Apple says it's going to fight this ruling. How far is the company willing to take it?
Well, this is a pretty successful company, and that's that's obviously underestimating the resources that they have at their disposal. But we have sources there telling us that this is a company right now that is ready to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court if need be. We're told by our sources that the company expects to file an appeal sometime next week, although that timetable could slide. But what they're looking at right now is filing this appeal, this challenge to the ruling, on Tuesday of next week.
Jeff, as you know, law enforcement says this kind of encryption is preventing them from doing their jobs. How so?
Well, we've heard from the FBI director and others in law enforcement saying that what happens is ISIS, groups like that, are using Twitter and other forms of social media to get sympathizers' attention. But once they do that, they then lure these sympathizers into these dark zones where investigators can't go, they can't see what's being discussed. And that's where encryption comes in, and that's a real simplified version of what we're looking at here. But that's where this encryption issue comes in. Investigators want to have access to what these sympathizers, these potential suspects, are talking about before these incidents happen. Right now, they're sort of blind to it, and we hear this over and over again from law enforcement, and that's what this is about. That is at the heart of this court case.
Jeff, we know right now there's no way to hack into an iPhone, but if forced to do so, would Apple have the ability to create the so-called backdoor?
Well, our sources are telling us that the company does have that ability, but the company does not want to introduce that software because their concern is once you do that, you go down this slippery slope and you introduce a master key, if you will, that will then compromise the security of phones across the globe.
You know, this fight between tech companies and the government over encryption has really been brewing for a while now. Wasn't this expected?
Well, there were hints, certainly, from law enforcement that it was moving in this direction. I mean, over the last year, encryption is something that FBI Director James Comey has talked about. We know that the administration has reached out to tech companies. So there has been a lot of discussion on this, but in a lot of ways, the issue hasn't moved forward. And this court action sort of moves the ball forward a little bit. And you have both sides still digging in. In fact, we heard from Google that it is watching this case as well. And there are others who are suggesting that maybe they will join this case on the side of Apple. So this will spark heated debate. And according to Apple, this is about privacy versus security. But the FBI and others in law enforcement say they need these tools to help prevent attacks.
The Department of Justice released a statement saying, in part, the judge's order and our request in this case do not require Apple to redesign its products to disable encryption or to open content on the phone. In addition, the judge's order and our request were narrowly tailored to this particular phone. Jeff, what do you make of that?
Well, this is the Justice Department putting public pressure on companies like Apple and trying to focus attention, if you will, on the fact that they believe, the government believes, this is a case that is focused solely on Syed Farook's cell phone. But the industry believes that this is bigger than just his cell phone. This is about cell phones and privacy issues across the globe with these cell phones that people everywhere now use. So this is a lot bigger, according to the tech industry, than just this one case. And should they budge on this, if you talk to anybody in the tech industry, they say you are going down a slippery slope to a point where you could one day have the government tapping into your phone conversations on your cell phone and perhaps activating your cell phone camera when you don't know it. And that's what they say they are concerned about, the slippery slope that they believe, the tech industry believes, this case leads to.
Yeah, it certainly could be a protracted legal battle coming up here. All right, Jeff Pegues in Washington for us. Jeff, thank you.